We have some good news and some bad news. Which would you like first? Welcome back to the Midlife Ride. I'm Catherine. Chris is behind the camera today. In this video, I'll be putting your recommendations to the test. If you haven't seen my experiments for the at-home coffee hair dye, we will put a link to that video in the description down below. The experiments I'm doing today are based off of viewer comments from that video. Two of the most frequent comments I received were that I should not have used conditioner and that I must use Nescafe brand instant coffee. So I did buy some Nescafe and I will be testing it without conditioner. Other recommendations that I'll be testing today include espresso, brown food coloring, black tea, avocado seeds, and black walnut hull extract. I had 7 avocado seeds that we had been saving. My brother recommended that I store them in a little bit of water, so that's what I did. And I'm not going to discard the water. I'm actually going to use that to boil them in because I think it might have some good stuff in it. I cut up 5 of them and I'm leaving 2 whole. I don't know why. I just feel like doing that. So I'm just going to pour the water that I've been storing them in. I should have measured that. That was actually, oh, there's a measuring thing. That was actually about 1 cup of water that they had been soaking in. So I'm gonna boil them in that. Okay, this has started to boil pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna put it on simmer and let it go for about 20 minutes. So now we're gonna make our espresso, and full disclosure, I've never made espresso before. So I did some research. They said the best bean to use is a dark roast coffee bean. So that's what we have here. And it needs to be ground on the fine setting. That's our espresso. I've been collecting my hair fall for a while. I've pulled it out of the drain. I've been collecting it out of my hairbrush, pulling it out of the vacuum roller. Now I'll be separating out all of the white hairs from what I've collected. Now, if you're wondering why I chose these out of the tons of recipes you sent in, I had 3 criteria. First, it had to be easy. 1 to 2 ingredients max. Stuff I probably had or is easy to acquire. Number 2, it had to be, you know, pretty natural ingredients, no harsh chemicals. And number 3, and probably most importantly for me, it can't be permanent. It can't create a root line because I've been growing my hair out for so long. The last thing I want to do is go back to having to touch up my roots every once in a while. So that's why I selected these items. And now we're gonna put them to the test. I have 6 bundled strands of my gray/white hair here, and I'm going to be using those to test out each of the 6 ingredients. We have our black tea here, so I'm just gonna take one of these strands and put it in. Make sure it's all, oh yeah, okay. Next we have this whatever that came from me boiling some avocado seeds. It looks super nasty. It doesn't look dark, so I don't really expect a whole lot from this, but avocado seed I hear is very, very good for you. So I might actually wind up making some kind of hair mask or maybe something for my face with it. It is kind of a peachy color.
It's kind of a pukey color.
Yes, Chris thinks it looks like fake vomit. I guess you could use this on a movie set, maybe. It does look pretty gross. Okay, Now we have the espresso. And let me tell you, it smells delicious. If you're wondering why I'm doing this with hair fall, I didn't want to do 6 experiments on my hair. That is very time consuming, even though this process was actually very time consuming as well. And for those of you who think hair fall will not work, the box color I used to buy at the store said that you could do the color testing on hair fall. Not the allergy test, obviously, but you could do the color test. So that's why I think this will work. Or if it would have worked on my hair, it will likely also work on the hair fall. Now we have the Nescafe coffee, and let me tell you, it smells and looks so good. If it doesn't work on hair, and I might try it on my head a little later, just in case, but I would pour this over like ice cream. I think it would be delicious. I'm just going to kind of spread this on the hair. Make sure I get underneath it. Now for the brown food coloring, which I don't think I've ever used food coloring, and I'm surprised it doesn't have something on the bottle to, you know, like a dropper I was expecting. I also wasn't expecting it to be so thick, but I'm just gonna spread it on. I have seen a few other videos about food coloring, and it looks like it's something that happens pretty quickly, pretty instantly. But the thing I'm most interested to learn is how it fades out. Is it going to create a root line, or is it going to fade out evenly? How long will it last? So I'll kind of be testing that as well. It looks pretty black to me, but I got a little bit on my skin when I was opening the container, and it did come out brown on my skin. You can see a little brown on the knife now. Okay, I think that's good. And finally, black walnut hull extract. Now, I know that wasn't the recommendation. You recommended actual walnuts, and that just seemed like a little too much effort for me and expense. So there was powder available as well, but I decided the black walnut hull extract may be the easiest thing. And I have no idea what color this is gonna be or if it will do anything. I couldn't find any information online, but oh, here it is. It is brown, so that's good. And I'm just gonna use this dropper to try to soak some of the strands. Okay, that looks good. I already feel like I can see it coloring some of the hair, but we will see. We're gonna leave this stuff for about 2 hours, and then we're going to run it under cold water or just dip it in cold water and see if any of the color stuck. If it does, I may either do it for longer or test it out on my actual head. So stay tuned for that. Okay guys, it's been just about 40 minutes. I know I said we'd be back in 2 hours, but I came to check on our strands, and I definitely notice a difference in the black walnut hull extract strands. They look much more blonde. This end is like a little caramel color, but what I noticed mostly was that the solution had dried up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some saran wrap underneath, and I'm going to put more of the extract on, just another dropper full. Maybe not quite that much. That's about a third of the dropper. And I'm gonna wrap it in the saran wrap and try to prevent it from drying out. And I might do that over the next little while and I'll let you know what I do. The other thing I noticed on the Nescafe coffee was it was kind of solidifying, which it has been doing, but when I mix it, it seems to liquefy a little bit. So I'm just gonna keep working that in and make sure it doesn't really harden as much. But it looks, I mean, it looks really good. I'm kind of excited at this point. I really hope this Nescafe coffee works, like so many of you have claimed and sworn by this brand, because this was so easy to keep in a thicker state. And I think this would be really easy to apply to my hair if I do try it. But this black walnut hull extract, I mean, it is looking really good. If I could get my hair a little more caramel colored, the white hairs, that would be excellent. The food coloring hasn't really dried as much as the other stuff, and it is still really black. So I'm not sure. I'll keep an eye on it, but it might be a little too dark if it does stain. I'm not sure why it's coming out so black and not brown. But maybe once we rinse it off, it'll provide a little browner color. We will see. Well, it's been 2 hours and I'm really excited to see what kind of results we have gotten. Let's take a look. What I'm gonna be doing is rinsing each of these in just water, warm water. I did not expect anything to happen with this, but actually, let me just rinse this under the tap. I don't know if it's my imagination, but it seems very silky and moisturized. I don't know if you can see that. Let's put it down on the black background. I don't know. I think that may have given it like a little silvery shimmer, but we'll let it dry out and see if we notice a difference in a bit. Now let's check the espresso. There's definitely color on it, but I don't know that it actually dyed it. No. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit, but not noticeable at all. Now let's check the black tea. Looks about the same as the espresso. Nope, I think the espresso did a little better job of tinting, even minorly, the hair. This was the espresso, that's the black tea. And the espresso looks a little darker to me, but we'll see when they dry up. Now for the Nescafe, which is probably going to take a little maneuvering to get all of the coffee off. Well, that is very disappointing. I had high hopes for that Nescafe and it doesn't look like it did anything. You can see it's still under my fingernails where I was trying to work it off the strands, but yeah, nothing. Bummer. Now the brown food coloring. Oh no, really? Nothing. How is that possible? I've seen people do this on video. Of course, I didn't see them rinse it. I only saw them put the coloring in their hair. No. Ugh. That is so disappointing. All right, we have one left, and it's the black walnut hull extract. Come on, be a winner. There we go. It's not the color that I want, but will it stick? No. Does not appear so. Maybe a little, but we'll see when it dries out, but I don't think that did anything. That is very disappointing. Well, I'll be back to compare these with regular untreated white hair. Well guys, we've let the hair strands dry, and we have some good news and some bad news. Which would you like first? You can't answer. So I'll just tell you. I see a difference. However, it is very minimal. I'm gonna let you take a look for yourself. This at the top is our untreated hair. We're gonna start from the bottom. Here is the untreated compared to the avocado seed. You can see there's no difference at all. Here is the untreated hair compared to the espresso. And I don't know if it picks up on the video, but I do notice a slight tint. It's not consistent throughout. You can see right here, there's like a little darker area. So I think maybe with repeated use or keeping it on your hair longer might produce a darker result. This was the black tea. Again, some of the strands have a little bit of tint to them, but some have been left pretty untouched. We tried the Nescafe next, and I mean, I don't see it. There's a little bit, but I think it's because the hair's kind of bunched up right here. Not much to report on that. This might have been my most disappointing experiment yet, the brown food coloring. I really thought that was going to stay longer. Like I said, I have seen other videos with people applying this on their hair, but I never did see them remove it. So I just assumed it was kind of, you know, more temporary than just one wash. And of course we didn't even wash, we just rinsed it in water. I do see some tint here. So maybe again, after repeated use. But even still, I mean, if you're interested in just doing something for the day, that might be an option for you. Now, I think our most successful by far was this black walnut hull extract. I'm so glad I purchased that. You can see a noticeable difference almost on the entire band of strands that we have here. And again, that was just 2 hours. So I think if you left it in longer or did it consistently, you might see some pretty good results with that. And I will just tell you, this bottle of black walnut hull extract, I purchased it on Amazon, I think. I'll put a link in the description below in case you want to check it out, but I think it was like $10 or something. Anyway, I think we were most successful with the black walnut hull extract, but send me your recommendations. Just keep in mind the 3 criteria that I listed earlier. I'm not gonna do anything that requires too much effort or repeated colorings. You know, I'm not going to pour coffee over my head in the shower every single day. That's just not gonna happen. So if you have anything you think will work that's easy and temporary and will not create a root line, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, and by the way, I am very much interested in trying a DIY face cream, something to get rid of these wrinkles, especially around my eyes. So if you have anything tried and true, please drop me a comment down below and let me know what's worked for you, because I might try it. If you like this video, or at least appreciate the effort we put into all of these experiments, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little bell icon so that you get notified every time we release a new video. And hey, we're not just a hair channel. In fact, we're not a hair channel at all. So take a look at our other videos and pick one or two. Watch a couple of them. You might like what we have to offer. We would certainly appreciate it. And we hope to see you in the next episode of The Midlife Ride.